Welcome to the Getting Started series for Workful. In this tutorial, I'll walk you through running off-cycle payroll. You might choose to run off-cycle payroll because you're giving your employees a bonus, you have to pay a dismissed employee severance pay, you're correcting an error from a previous payroll run, an employee requested it in advance, or you're paying your sales staff commission. You will also run off-cycle payroll if any of your employees is on a different pay schedule. With Workful, you can run off-cycle payroll from two places, directly from the dashboard or from the Payroll tab on your main menu. It does not matter where you start the process from, they'll both work the same way. To run payroll from the dashboard, just click Run Off-Cycle Payroll. Let's go through the main menu. When you click Payroll, you'll see a list of all your payroll batches. For each batch, you'll see the pay period dates, the date on the paychecks, the number of checks in the batch, the gross wages paid, the total withholdings, and the total net amount for the checks. You'll also be able to see the status of each payroll batch, complete, pending, or canceled. Let's run payroll. Unlike a regular payroll run, you will need to add a little more information before running payroll. Choose the date of the check. Remember, if you're running direct deposit, it takes 4 business days to deposit the funds into your employee's account. Then, we'll choose the start and end date for the pay period. Since this is an off-cycle payroll run, it's okay if the pay period does not match up with your normal pay period. For example, maybe you pay your employees weekly, but you pay sales commissions on a monthly basis. Then the start date would be the beginning of the month, and the end date would be the end of the month. On the left-hand side, you will see a list of your employees. You might not be running this payroll for every employee, so they are all excluded from the payroll run by default. To include an employee in the payroll run, just click the box next to their name. After you've included an employee, you will be able to see how many hours are currently included in the check and the current net check amount. Since this is an off-cycle payroll run, you will probably have to change the check. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm paying commission today, so I'm going to change the amount of each employee's commission and make sure every other earnings type is 0. Please note that if you plan on running an off-cycle payroll run for an earnings type that your employee has not been paid before, like commission or a bonus, you will have to go into the employee's payroll setup to add that addition before running payroll. If your employee is typically paid a salary, you will also have to go into their payroll setup and change the salary to 0 before running an off-cycle payroll. Just don't forget to change it back after you've run this payroll. On the right, you'll be able to see the totals for the payroll run, including the total wages paid, the total net amounts, and the total PTO used this pay period. You will also be able to see your tax liability for this payroll run, like income tax, and the employee and employer portions of Social Security and Medicare. If everything looks good, you're ready to run payroll. If you're printing paychecks, you'll have the option to print them now or later. If you choose to print your checks later, you'll be able to come back to this payroll run and print the checks when you're ready. If you choose Print Now, a PDF file will be downloaded to your computer. You'll be able to print the checks from that file. After the PDF file has been downloaded, Workful will ask you if the checks printed correctly. If you downloaded the file but are not going to print the checks yet, I recommend clicking No, I need to reprint. This will give you the option to print later, which is great if you need to adjust your check stock settings before printing. If you click Yes to say the checks printed correctly, then you will not be able to download the checks again. You will only be able to download copies of the employee's pay stubs. That's it. With Workful, running an off-cycle payroll will only take you a few minutes. Check out help.workful.com to learn more about using Workful and to watch our other tutorials.